Welcome, everyone, to TJ and the Grumpy Old Man, the all sports podcast that takes place every single Sunday at, you said what, X?
You're lagging bad.
Okay, well, hopefully I'll be able to get that fixed in a second. But welcome, if you're new here to the show. It's an all sports podcast that takes place every single Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're new to the channel, there's a few things that I invite you to do. I invite you to subscribe on YouTube, right? If you're not subscribed already, it's a good way to make sure you get kept up to date with notifications as to when we go live. If there's any sort of ad hoc or emergency podcast, that's the best way to make sure you don't miss out on that. And also, if you like the content, make sure to like the video. Right? If you like the video, number one, it lets myself, Grumpy, and Son X know you like the content that we're producing. And also, right, it helps the algorithm. It milks the algo. We go ahead and get a little bit extra algorithm juice out of it. Who knows? But you know, with me here, we've got the Grumpy Old Man. They say there's no shame to his game because he's always the same.
That's me.
Grumpy Old Man, and the magnificent Son X, right?
This time, baby, let's get
King
it.
Of comments. X, what are you wearing?
Shirt.
Shirt
are you wearing?
He's wearing New York Islanders shirt.
Is that hold on? Is that an Islanders shirt there, X? I can't tell because your room is lit so poorly, X. It's tough to tell. Turn the lights on, X, so we can actually see that shirt in its glory to see how good that thing looks.
Oh, you want the lights on? Hold on.
Yeah, so we can see the lights
on. There we go. I turned on more lights.
No, I can't see shit. Turn the light on in the room, X.
Oh my God, Ming.
Put the light on in the room. Put the light on in the room. How many times you got to tell you?
There it is. There we go, X. Come on now. This should be.
Stand up. Stand up, you lazy bastard. Stand up.
God, X doesn't. Shit. That yellow light. Actually, turn that light off. X, I can't believe you don't have brighter lights in that room. What's going on over there? It's like you're working by candlelight over there, X. Look at this. Oh my God.
Did you know?
Are you jealous of my shirt?
Did you know?
Disappointing as usual.
Do you know in the movie Barry Lyndon, which actually, TJ, was a movie you liked? You saw. I don't think you saw the whole thing, but you saw part of it. Directed by Stanley Kubrick. They shot it in candlelight, the interior scenes, because that's the way it was back in the 1800s, everywhere. You know, but in England in this particular case, and I mean, it's really tough to do that.
And Grumpy would know that that's the way it was back then.
That's right. I'm educated.
That was back during his glory days.
Mm-hmm.
We do have a lot to talk about here today. We've got some MLB news, some NFL news, some NHL news here too. First things first, though, I kind of want to start off the show because we didn't go live last week. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot to talk about. And X may have heard a little bit about this. Did you guys hear about the contract pieces that Caleb Williams had as non-negotiables in his recent rookie contract and his rookie deal?
No, I just know he wouldn't sign it.
He wanted they couldn't franchise tag him.
Oh, that I did see.
That was one. There was a lot. Hold on. I'll let you pontificate on that in a second. I'm gonna have to restart and come back. I'll be back.
Okay. To me, the NFL, the way these contracts are done, they're just standard contracts. They're like slotted. The money is slotted. And there's no way that you're going to see they're not going to say, no, we're not going to franchise you. They might. Here's the thing. They're not even going to want to give him his 5th-year option by the time that comes up. I think he's going to bust out.
He's going to bust out is right.
He's got bust written all over him.
And not bust out and be good, but bust out and be bad.
Like he's busted.
Yes, but that was the big thing, right? Like that was a big one, right? They said he agreed and the contract agreed that they cannot franchise tag him after his rookie contract is over. Again, this kid thinks so much of himself. Now, this was the most recent reports. And again, I'm sorry, it's one of these Instagrams where it's got a whole bunch of crap playing in the background. So you're going to have to bear with me on this, but because they like to usually play, stuff in the background on this, but these are the additional demands that are broken out here that he wanted and has got, or here in his contract.
Caleb Williams just had some of the most ridiculous contract requests the NFL has ever seen. Now, we've heard for a while that Williams wanted to be given ownership equity in the team, and the league flat out denied it, so he requested that a family member would be given that role.
No. No.
Do you remember that was the first thing that started off months ago was he said, hey, whoever's going to draft him better be ready to give up some ownership.
Why do I feel like I'm the ownership group just listening to this? Just the answer is no. No. You can ask for whatever you want. You're not getting it.
You got to give my mom or my dad ownership instead. Absolutely not, buddy. We're not drafting you.
Yeah. If you're an owner, are you going to give any portion of your team to a guy who's never done anything? Last time we saw him, he was crying to his mommy in the stands.
Don't wait. It gets better. Hold on.
These other requests are just insane. Williams has been known to paint his nails before games, and apparently he requested his nail tech be given a spot on the roster.
No!
This is the craziest thing ever.
No.
Okay.
I think this is BS, TJ.
It is bullshit. So here's the thing. It would not shock me. This just speaks to the character, right? Like this is obviously it's going to get more and more ridiculous as it continues. But when you're listening
I was going to say the last time we saw him was crying to his mother and painting his fucking nails.
When you listen to it,
no!
right? It's not. Here's the thing. It's not true. It's meant for hyperbole. But when I was watching this originally, before I actually did some research, none of this, and the reason why I wanted to get Grumpy's actual reaction to it is because none of this would actually shock me at all if he was making these requests. That is the reason why I'm showing this, because if he said, well, you wouldn't give it to me, but now you got to give it to my parents, it would not shock me at all that was something that he was requesting. It would not shock me, these last two things that they say. They're for a normal human, they sound absolutely absurd. But for Caleb Williams, for the track record he has, I'd be like, actually, this kind of makes sense for him. So we'll listen to the last two, but they're absolute bullshit. But I still thought it was the fact that at first when I was listening to it, I'm like, this could be true, tells me all you need to know about the perception of this kid and what he does. So we'll listen to the last two, but I was like, I was like, oh man, how crazy would it be if this was true?
Whereas other players have done this with barbers, but he actually wants this player to be given a coach's clearance and actually be listed as a coach on the team. Williams also requested that his mother be given a role on the team as a quote-unquote team counselor, knowing that none of the other players would use her for this, but that he would be able to go to her in the middle of games whenever he felt he needed her. And the last part of this contract might be the most outrageous, because Williams wanted to be given PTO, paid time off from his job throughout the season. That means that he wants an additional bye week of his choosing, or he could take those as individual hours, meaning he could come out of games at certain times based on the PTO that he was given by the team.
Like, obviously, at the end, it gets so ridiculous. But could you not see him making some fucking bullshit requests like that across the board? Like, I know you've got my we have the bye week, but I'm going to go ahead and write myself into the contract that I want an additional bye week of my choosing.
Absolutely. I can see that happening.
It's absolute BS, but it's still, like at first glance, until it got to the end, I was like, holy crap, this, I mean, if true, would be ridiculous. But
is it true? Is it true?
No, it's not true. It's not true.
Satire.
It's satire. It's meant to be hyperbolic. Okay. But like when I listened to it, I was like, man, this sounds like this could actually be something that he wanted to do or wanted. It wouldn't shock me if it was true, was the crazy thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the reason we played it. Not true in any way, shape, or form, but I just could not stop laughing at all. I mean, I was just like, oh, my God, this is like it's just absurd across the board. And I'm like, it wouldn't shock me at all if it actually was true. So that was there. But let's jump into some comments here first before we start jumping into additional topics of the show. Drew
Licata says, Grumpy, you can finally run for president if you want to. Joe Biden dropped out of the next electoral race. Maybe he can fire Lou once he takes office. Maybe I can. Maybe
you could fire Lou X or Grumpy. There you go.
I don't really like talking about politics on the show, but it had to go, right? He had to go.
Could you imagine?
I can't even imagine him being in office. Why is he in office? He can't even string a sentence together without fucking it up. This guy should not be even pretend running the country, and he's not.
Here's the thing, Grumpy. Could you imagine? They always say, if you're going to be president, it ages you like in a matter of 4 years. It really ages you like close to a decade. Could you imagine what Grumpy would look like after a 4-year presidency? I don't
have enough hair to lose to worry about it. Really,
coffin.
X doesn't even think you'd make it out alive of a presidency, Grump.
Oh, absolutely, I would. I could run this. But here's the thing. Let me tell you something. I could absolutely do what Joe Biden's done the last.
Somebody would put a hit out on Grump.
Okay. Drew L. Grumpy.
As long as I don't have the Secret Service protect me, I'll be okay. Drew says, the hilarious thing about that Caleb Williams video is that it looks like some people in the comments fell for the bait.
Yep.
But I see that.
That's the reason I brought it up, because I'm like, there is and it's ludicrous because, like, when you think about it, I'm like, you don't actually have that much negotiating power for a guy who just came in, but he has such a reputation for being a guy who whines, complains, demands this, demands that, that if he was putting a whole bunch of, litany of things that he was demanding, I wouldn't bat an eye at it, because I'd be like, oh, well, I guess it makes sense. It's Caleb Williams who's just ridiculously over the top. But yes, it was completely bait,
The only thing that the PTO one, that's really over the top. But all the others, and even the mother one, but the first two, I could actually see him asking for that. I've never been a Caleb Williams fan. I'm not saying that he doesn't have ability. And, X and I are Oklahoma fans. And
he sucks.
I just don't think there's anything special about him.
I think he beat one ranked opponent his entire time in college.
I don't know. But all I know is maybe
it was 3 out of 10. He played 10 ranked teams and he beat 3 of them.
All I know is the team and the players performed better, and it was more of a unified unit when he was not playing in the bowl game. I'm talking about USC.
Yep.
I just think his antics rub people the wrong way on team. Football, TJ, and you can tell us, you got a guy who's painting his fingernails and crying to his mother during the game. I mean, how would other teammates look at that?
It'd just be like, I would never talk to a guy like that. I'd just be like, even though we're on the same team, I'd be like, yeah, that freak who does this. I mean, like, everybody talks shit behind his back. I mean, hell, at one point, I'm, if he wasn't the quarterback, you talk shit through his face. I'm like, you're painting your fingernails, you're crying to mom up in the stands.
With the offensive line, what if a member of the offensive line did that?
They probably just I was going to say
offensive linemen don't allow other offensive linemen to do that, because it's just like they don't allow you to wear sleeves. They don't like. There's a code. There's a code of being an offensive lineman. You got to be a tough man. There's none of this painting your fingernails and crying to mom on the sideline. We lost 2 or 3 games.
Do you think that the USC offensive line intentionally let defenders through to light them up?
No, they didn't do that. Speaking right before you get to this comment there. Oh yeah, we could talk about it actually perfectly. We got here. Oh, look at this. It's Alex Monroe, grumpy old man. Look at this.
I like Alex. He's not very nice young man. Very nice.
Another comment there.
Messi wins his 45th trophy in this year's Copa America. I don't believe that's true. That's more because trophies that you get, like participation trophies, which is what he won mostly in Barca, just for showing up, and certainly in Inter Miami. So, I mean, if you want to count them up, I'm sure that, I go upstairs and my boys, there's a lot of trophies on their little mantle place, probably more than 45. So that's more trophies than any club since his debut in 2004. Looks like dog shit things. Okay.
That's just good things. Speaking about it, right? We were just concluding our show around the time period that the game was supposed to start between Colombia and Argentina, but it was delayed about an hour and a half or an hour and 45 minutes. We got to see some of the clips of these Colombian fans who were rushing the stadium. Oh my God. The more and more that went on, and just like, it was an absolute madhouse.
It's Colombia.
I'll tell you one thing. Well, guess what? It was held in the U.S., this game. I'll tell you one thing.
The Colombia fans.
I will tell you one thing. At the World Cup game, there better be armed men out there ready to just blast anybody away who's over there trying to rush.
All right, come on now.
Listen to me. There were people dying in the stadium. You cannot have people dying in stadiums over there and passing out because you've got people climbing through air vents and just bum rushing guards and security. Like, what the fuck is this? You can't allow that. And you have people who spent thousands, and I mean thousands of dollars to go to that game. They're just like, sorry, we let too many people in already because you weren't doing your job.
I don't want to see machine gun turrets at the top of every stadium.
There needs to be armed individuals out there where it's like, hey, if you're going to do that, we're going to
get shot.
So hold on. People who didn't have hold on. Let me get this straight. People who didn't have tickets were getting into the game.
Yes.
Oh, so wouldn't that skew then the numbers of attendance that they had in the game?
Yes,
And
it
you know
would.
what?
Actually paid for tickets?
They had plenty of
Okay.
seats left over too.
Okay.
I'm telling you,
That's good to know.
just
All of these
the same
occurrences-
exact fans. Okay, I'll show a little montage. It was the same fans who were over there fighting
that's what I was gonna
Uruguay.
say.
Like the priest over there was. I'm like, sorry. At certain games where the fans go crazy, we're gonna have to have additional armed presence to make sure you can't. Here's the thing: if I'm paying for a World Cup game and we've got people bum rushing the security guards, and I travel someplace to see a game and I can't go, there's gonna be a fucking issue. And I have a real issue as a paying customer if just some people wanted to rush in to say, ha, we could just go ahead and run in. What? No, thank you.
Okay. In defense of, they certainly weren't expecting that, right? And it was all from the Columbia fans. It all was.
No, it's both. If you actually
No,
watch
it was the Columbia fans.
It's all
there's
Colombian
Argentina.
fans. The majority of them are Colombian fans doing
The
this.
majority are, but there's definitely
Look at
Argentina
this.
fans.
Look at this. Just pouring in, just saying, wow, we
They
don't
didn't
have to
have
win. I'm
tickets.
sorry.
They were hiding in air conditioning
What is
vents.
going on here?
Here's another one.
Yeah.
Getting into the Copa America through the ventilation system?
I mean, I don't want to say
These are all
anything about
Colombian
that.
fans.
But
These are all Colombian fans. And here's the thing. Look at this. Breaking the escalators. Here's the problem, right? Okay, that cannot happen again. Cannot happen. You
It
need
didn't
to
happen when
have
El
more
Chapo was in
security
charge of
presence.
Colombia.
You need to have more security presence at these games. That's simple.
it doesn't happen. It didn't happen when El Chapo was in control of that country.
Well, no, what you need to seriously have is you're going to have to, guess what? Whatever like little game day attendance you have for a normal NFL game, quintuple it. That's what you need to have. You need to have guys out there who are armed to where it's like, hey, if you're going to have people rushing through, we're going to tackle you. If you try to fight back, there's going to have to, you cannot just allow people to just run unfettered into the game at a paying event to where people just get to say, fuck it. We're going to climb through air ducts. Well, guess what? Sometimes on the other side of those air ducts, there's people walking in. Could you imagine if an air duct collapses because it's not meant to have 500 or 600 people in it who are crawling themselves to get to another game and they flatten and kill somebody? It's just a liability waiting to happen.
Okay. None of those people
have people there present to stop that nonsense.
None of those people were built like you, so the air conditioning vents was not going to collapse on other people, unsuspecting people. These are smaller people.
You want to know who would have taken care of that issue immediately?
Who?
Bane from the
Pillar.
third Batman movie.
How do you figure?
Do you not remember what happened during the football game when he just wiped out the whole entire football stadium?
I do remember that.
That's right. He would have taken care of it.
I just like I'm sorry.
That's
It's
I think what
the
TJ wants to have happen. If these people get unruly and rowdy and they start breaking in, just freaking wipe out the whole stadium.
The problem that I have is this. Remove this comment real quick. These type of goals, which is like, hey, we're just game day employees. Nope. Police officers. I don't care. National Guard. We're not allowing people just
National Guard.
Go out the
You want to call up the National Guard for a Copa?
The National Guard. Colombian fans are coming. Obviously, being hyperbolic, but seriously, need to have an increased amount of police presence. You cannot have at a World Cup final in Newark, right, where they just go ahead and just say, hey, great, we could just rush past. We're going to delay the start of the game by an hour and 30, and a whole bunch of paying customers don't get to see the game. Sorry, can't happen. Got to have more police presence, and if people are coming through, well, guess what? There's a lot of police presence there, 7 or 8 at every single one of these entry points. You got 5 different entry points. Gotcha. We're loading up with each one of those little where they have a line and a queue of people, 7 or 8 different officers. We're not allowing people just to run through. Increase. You know what? Because what does it do? It hurts the bottom line a little bit, but it prevents any of that nonsense from happening. Ticketmaster. I mean, think about how many dollars Ticketmaster is going to have to refund because all these people who paid for the event didn't get to see it. I mean,
apparently Ticketmaster is referring people to go to their bank.
Yeah, no. Like some of these tickets were $1,500. Okay, how much does it cost per cop to have hired to stand at that outside location to prevent people from just rushing through? I mean, like I assume they're not getting paid more than like for an event, maybe $100, $200 to make sure they don't have people just bum rush through. Well, shit,
that's the way that it's going to be. They're probably going to request $5,000 each one of them. Well, we got Copa America, we got the Colombians coming back here. I need $5,000.
Hey, with inflation the way it's been running in this country the last number of years, that wouldn't.
Here you go. Let's look here. Here you go. Grumpy.
Show him the post, TJ, since Grumpy doesn't believe jack shit that doesn't fit his narrative. I don't have a narrative.
Grump, are
Which
you going to take
post?
that?
I don't know. He's about the Messi thing. I'm sure there are other players who've won just as many titles.
Okay.
Titles are a team thing, by the way. It's not an individual thing.
You're going to have to send me that, Al.
Well,
I
yeah,
don't
especially
have
when
that
you
post
don't
up.
score, have an assist in a final.
And I don't want something that's written in crayon and popped up. I don't want to see that.
Now, it's funny. They're talking about, right, because Spain had won. Now they're talking about Rodri is the favorite to win the Ballon d'Or. As
If
hard as
anything,
that
Danny
is.
Carvajal should win it before him.
True.
Okay. Neither Rodri or Danny Carvajal should win the Ballon d'Or.
I agree.
It's Jude Bellingham. I'm sorry. There's nobody else close to him, in my opinion. You win La Liga Player of the Year. Rodri didn't even win Player of the Year for the EPL, right? He's a CDM. There's never, ever should a CDM ever win Player of the Year. It's like saying, hey, we awarded a Player of the Year who's a safety. Fuck no. I'm sorry. Safeties can't win Player of the Year.
I will say Virgil van Dijk won it one year, but then got robbed of the Ballon d'Or.
Center back is different than a CDM. A center back, that's their sole job, is just to be a shutdown. CDMs just kind of float around. They play more of a defensive role. Okay, no shot in hell Rodri should win this. It should be either Jude or Vinny. I'm sorry. Rodri.
I would probably lean towards Vinny. I'm sorry, towards Jude, to be honest with you.
He won the Player of the Year for the league. He won himself a Champions League. He got to the finals, and he had a huge goal that knotted the game up there to help that miserable managed England team to score a bicycle kick goal and fashion in dying minutes of a game to help England advance. It's got to be Jude who wins the Ballon d'Or. Nothing else at this point.
Well, here's the thing. Also, you got to think Vinny had a goal in the UCL final. He was the top goal scorer for Real Madrid during the Champions League run. And he also missed a ton of games this year, too.
True.
So you got to put that into perspective as well.
State of Survival says, hey, guys, I'm not a football guy, but just saw an auction selling a Jim Thorpe poster for $500. Who was he?
You don't know who Jim Thorpe is?
Oh, my God. He's one of the greatest athletes.
He said, I feel like TJ now.
Oh.
Yes. So he was the story of how he actually got and played football was a crazy one. Do you know the story behind it, Grump?
Matter of fact, Jim Thorpe All-American is on TCM tonight, which I've seen before. Burt Lancaster plays the role. He was an Olympian. He was a football player.
Yes.
Won the decathlon, I believe, in the Olympics. And they stripped him of the medal because he took, I don't know, some bucks for playing some pickup, like a barnstorming baseball. He was a baseball player. Just a tremendous all-around
athlete. Yeah.
Matter of fact, as of 1970 or something like that, he was voted the greatest athlete of all time.
So I'm just going to show a little 1 minute.
He was of Indian heritage, American Indian heritage.
Yes, Native American heritage.
Thorpe was a colossal figure in American athletics and a fascinating figure in American history. He was perhaps the greatest athlete in this country's history.
Yep.
He was not only an Olympic gold medalist in the decathlon, but also a brilliant All-American football player at the Carlisle Indian School and the first president and the greatest player in the incipient National Football League, as well as a Major League Baseball player. No other athlete in American history has done that trifecta. He was also, very importantly, a Sac and Fox Indian, a Native American, whose life story from 1887 to 1953 when he died is really the story of the experience of Native Americans in this country for all of its difficulties. He's also, in some respects, a tragic figure in that he was unduly shorn of his Olympic medals after it was reported that he competed in Bush League baseball before he won his Olympic medals. And so many important white figures in his life betrayed him to save their own reputations.
I don't think any of that bullshit.
He
Lost it. That's the way it was back then, unfortunately. If they found that you take any money, they can to play a sport that you were not an amateur.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way it was back then.
Okay, well, don't get caught in the weeds there, Grump. It's simple as this, right? Like, there's a lot of documentaries out there on him. Unbelievable athlete, a guy who was, again, think about it. Played again. Sports are a little different back then, right? So you're looking at apples to oranges compared to how they are now. But played in the MLB, played in the NFL, was an Olympian as well. Quite crazy, his story. And if you do some digging, you watch it. I just want to show a quick little snippet.
That's what happens, right? Like I said, me being older, absolutely. Jim Thorpe, greatest athlete of all time. Nobody else even close, right? And I'm talking going back.
There's college awards named after him too. Go ahead, Grump.
Now he's almost like an afterthought for most people because he's been dead, 70 years? But that does not minimize how talented he was. And like I said, he could do everything. And they didn't have the modern training techniques like they do today. The guy was just a natural athlete.
Yep. Drew said here, I can tell you one thing. Hard Rock Stadium isn't hosting another Copa America game again. Yeah. Again, and I just, the thing that I hope is taken away from that absolute shit show I'll tell you one thing. It was almost like a home game for Colombia with the amount. I mean, the yellow jerseys and the yellow kits far outweighed the Argentine jerseys. I mean, I thought it was essentially a home game for Colombia based off of the numbers. But I'll tell you this much. The security for the 2026 World Cup, better look at that and say, we're not going to be embarrassed like that was, because that's embarrassing. This was a game held in the U.S. I don't see game. It reminds, like you talk about the Merseyside Derby, where how many of those Liverpool fans, or was it the Merseyside Derby? Which Derby was it that for that the Liverpool fans want to get
Hillsborough? In Hillsborough.
Yes, there it was. It's like things like that are notable, and you remember them for decades. And like you can't let something like that happen on your watch. Simply.
Well, for those who are not familiar with the Hillsborough incident, there is a 30. I don't know if it's a 30 for 30. It's absolutely a 30 for 30 library, and it's honestly, if anyone's, you absolutely have to watch that. How the government blamed the fans for their failures, for the failure of police in that particular instance, and you could just see it. I mean, I don't know how many people passed away, but they were crushed. They were literally crushed because they used to have them in pens. Where they'd have barricades, so they just open up one gate, everybody flooded in, and everybody got crushed in the front. It really, really horrible situation. I suggest you watch it.
Yes, but you don't want something like that to happen on your watch. They got to do better than that. Okay, you go, Grubby. Freedom Fund Adventure.
Oh, wait, sorry. What was the other one there? Okay.
Oh, sorry, we already did that one. My fault.
Freedom Fund Adventure is Grumpy. I saw a video of a Walmart being looted, and it made me think of you. It's like when Son X comes for a visit. You know what?
X just comes in. He says, "What type of water and snacks has the warden purchased me so I can just go ahead and eat them?"
Okay, here's a true story now, just to show you the warden. And I had a talk with her too, straighten her out, because we went to go last night to go see the movie Twisters, which is a long past sequel of the original guilty pleasure movie Twister with Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton and Philip Seymour Hoffman and Jamie Gertz. And she brought snacks in her bag for X because she knew her little sonny boy would probably like some snacks during the movie.
Were you guys sneaking snacks in the movie theaters?
Oh, well, the warden was. I didn't. The warden was. Absolutely, excess. Here's the thing: when X comes over to this house, you know, it's like a horde of locusts coming by, just grazing, eating everything in sight, drinking whatever there is, and then gone. Everything is barren after he's done. Barren.
Jesus, freaking X again. The Copa America section gives me one thought. Maybe TJ should never run for president. He's got Putin tendency. No, here's the thing: if people are paying, you should be able to make sure that people who paid for the event are going to be able to attend the event. Because at this point, right, it's not even the fact you're out dollars, which bothers me, and then you paid because you wanted to experience that item. You'll never get a chance to experience it the way you wanted to. Who knows how far you traveled if you're staying in a hotel room. It wasn't like people just like, oh, gosh, I'm just going to pick up and travel there for a weekend. Oh, yeah, I'm just coming on a limb. I'm just going to go ahead and leave real quick and make a 2-hour drive. I mean, people are people do a lot to make sure they can go to one of those large events like that. And the World Cup's going to be the same exact way. They're going to pay a lot of dollars. They're going to travel places that usually they wouldn't go to. And if they get there and it's like, oh, well, sorry, we had too many people just run across right through the game day securities making $10 an hour. So they really didn't care about, preventing anybody from coming through because their lives are more important than $10. Well, gotcha. The person who really gets hurt? The people who pay for the event. the TJs, the grumpy old mans, whoever wants to go see the events, the Johnnies.
First of all, I would never go see a third-rate tournament.
The World Cup I will be going to see. That's the thing. I just don't want that happening during the World Cup. The Copa America.
World Cup. Colombia won't advance, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
They played in that third-rate tournament, right?
Oh man,
third-rate
James Farrell. Oh my God, is anybody watching flag football right now? Why is it in the NFL channel? Come on, I did see that at the gym.
No.
They had on ESPN too. They had the flag football. It's like a whole bunch of I wouldn't even know what to call them. Maybe middle school or young high schoolers that are like playing flag football in these little tiny fields.
It's 15U flag football.
How do you know it's 15U flag football, X?
Because it popped up on one of the things while I was scrolling through stuff. And I was like, wow.
I'm sorry. That should never find a way on ESPN. It should never find a way on NFL channel. A flag football tournament is something you just do for your friends and you do something like that. I'm sorry.
What about ESPN 8, the Ocho? What about that?
That should be something that's just like broadcasted only on the internet and you have to gain some link to go view it.
Yeah,
illegal link.
Yes, I'm sorry. It should be that's like a mom and pop.
Dark web.
We talk about the WNBA being a mom and pop thing. Flag football should never, and I mean never, get any sort of airtime on any sporting channel ever again. It's like a whole bunch of these kids are like 5'3". They'll never play a down of high school football, or maybe they will. They're just over there playing tag. I'm like, oh, come on, man. Where's the good old days? I'm fine watching a high school game on TV. Think about it. There's probably more flag football games than there are high school games televised on ESPN at this point.
All right. Maybe you should watch some movies before you watching high school football, Pete.
I was at the gym, Grump, and ESPN is always on at the gym. I'm like, why the hell are they showing us whatever flag football? I'm like, ugh. Is this really what we want to watch on a Sunday afternoon? You couldn't find something else to drum up and put on?
Hulkamania sent Joe packing.
Oh God!
Says this is from Alex. I'm certain. I like this name very much. Thank you. And the Hulkster was sensational this week.
Rodri and Carvajal deserves the Ballon d'Or.
I'm sorry.
No way.
Rodri, absolutely not. I could maybe make a case for Carvajal scoring the winning goal in Champions League. This was the best season I think he's ever had from beginning to end. Won Champions League, won La Liga, won Euros, and was just. I mean, he's been really good this year. It's got to be Bellingham or
Vinny.
But I'm going to tell you who's going to win next year. It's going to be Kylian
Mbappe,
absolutely.
Yamin Yamal is pretty good.
You want to know how many goals Yamin Yamal had all this year?
Well, they didn't start. Didn't help.
He did start.
Oh shit! He played every game.
Really?
Yeah.
He
played over 2,000 minutes this last season.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
He had the same amount of goals that Guler had.
I thought he only had 5.
No, I think he had 6. He had the same amount of goals Guler had, and Guler had 6 goals in 400 minutes.
Yeah. Here's the thing. The Camel kid is good, though.
He is good.
He's very good.
Guler clear of Camel.
James Farrell says, congrats to all the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame recipients. Your thoughts on it, guys?
Grumpy never liked Adrian Beltre. I always did. I always thought he was a Hall of Famer.
Didn't Joe Mauer make it into?
Here's the thing. Joe Mauer was the best catcher for a number of years. I don't think anyone ever said, boy, Adrian Beltre is the best third baseman ever. Ever. I don't think anyone said that. He was a stat stuffer, never won anything, no individual awards. I mean, but that's what it's. How do you get in the Hall of Fame? You got to play.
He had a lot of individual awards. You were right. So he was a 5-time Gold Glove winner.
Did he win MVP?
He was a 5-time Glove winner and then a 4-time
All-Star
Silver Slugger.
He played how many years? 21 freaking years. He was
21.
never the best third baseman ever. In any year was he the best third baseman. Never freaking ever.
He had 286. Think about that. He had over 3,000 hits. That matters. 3,166 hits. But he hit 286. It's not like his batting average was garbage.
Okay,
I'm
what's
sorry.
the highest number of hits he had in the
Deserved.
year? He has. Look at it. There's nothing. There's
baby.
one home run.
He led the MLB once.
Stop.
He led the MLB once in hits.
Absolutely not. He's not a Hall of Famer.
199. Hall of Fame, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay,
Adrian Beltre.
In 21 years, you see 2 categories or twice where his number is bolded. Twice of all the
Home
stats.
runs,
1 year
doubles,
home
and
runs.
hits.
Okay,
3.
so I'm
Home
sorry. There's
runs,
another
hits, and
one. 3.
doubles.
Whoop-de-doo. 3. I'm sorry. There's other guys who aren't in who are much better than he was. That's all I'm saying.
Multiple Silver Sluggers, multiple Gold Gloves.
He played 21 years. He's not a Hall of Famer. I'm steadfast in that. No one ever said, "Man, Adrian Beltre, he's going to put us over the top," because he never did.
Joe Mauer, though, deserved.
Joe Mauer.
Think about it.
Adrian
Joe
Beltre
Mauer was
received,
freaking good, dude.
he received
Joe Mauer-
95.1% of the ballots.
I think that was high for Joe Mauer. Here's the thing. I think
No,
Joe Mauer.
That's Adrian Beltre. Adrian Beltre received
He absolutely did not. He
95.1%.
didn't deserve that. He deserved about, 50% maybe.
Did
50.
Johan Santana make it in?
No,
Do you think he will or no?
no, he won't.
Probably
I
not.
always thought he was a really good pitcher.
Todd Helton should not be in the Hall of Fame.
Agreed.
Really? What were Todd Helton's numbers? Todd Helton was
He
really
played in
good.
Colorado. He played his home games in Colorado.
Launching
There's
pad.
nothing wrong.
Now, Jim
Is
Leland.
that what you're saying? People from Colorado can't make the Hall of Fame?
I'm just saying it's a launching pad in
do they?
Colorado. Your stats get inflated there. They absolutely do. Jim Leland,
He hit
absolutely.
360 at a career batting average.
He played in
Career batting
Colorado.
average of 360.
He played in Colorado. What were his numbers
316.
away? What was his numbers away from home? That's what I want to know.
I don't know they keep those type of numbers, Grump.
I'm sure. Oh, they absolutely do.
He just doesn't want to look him up.
Jim Leland should be in the Hall of Fame. Great manager with the Tigers, with the Pirates. Really, really good. And Joe Mauer. Now, would it have bothered me if Joe Mauer did not get in the first time? Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. But Joe Mauer was really good at a position offensively, and he was a good defensive catcher. He didn't play there a super long amount of time because of injuries, and that's what happens when you're a catcher. But I still think he deserved to get in. Maybe not on first ballot, but still.
Yeah. I mean,
Scott Rowland is another one in 2023. He didn't. No one ever said, "Man, that's Scott Rowland. He's somebody who's got to be in Hall of Fame." Absolutely not. He and Adrian Beltre are very, very similar.
I see one guy who doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame right here. Derek Jeter. Get his ass out. We need a petition to get Derek Jeter out of the Hall of Fame.
Well,
See you later, Derek. Kick your bags and pack.
Okay, Derek Jeter played a long time. He played for the marquee team in the sport,
And he
won
won.
a whole bunch of World Series.
Yep.
And he's clutch. So you
How
can't
many
say
World
that's
Series did Piazza have?
none.
Multiple. Hundreds.
0.
He won every single
Hundreds.
World Series there is.
Hundreds. He had hundreds of World Series.
You want to know who's never going to make the Hall of Fame? Jose Reyes. Never.
He's making the Hall of Fame this year, baby.
not even
Next
gonna
year,
make the Dominican-
2025.
He's not even going to make the Dominican Republic Hall of Fame.
You know who actually I heard is up for running for Hall of Fame next year?
Who is that?
Lastings Millage.
He's gonna be a
Not getting
first
there either.
ballot lock, baby. Get ready. Lastings Millage. His
First
time
ballot. He actually
is
might break the vote. Like he
Okay,
might get the
hold
most amount of votes.
100%.
I want to correct myself. He can get into the Hall of Fame only if he buys a ticket, though. Only way.
He's getting the Canton Grumpy one way or the other. He's getting in. It's an automatic at this point. Now, I did see one more thing talking about the MLB Hall of Fame. I feel like now, Grumpy, were there any guys on this year's ballot that you thought should have gotten in that didn't?
You'd have to pull up the list.
I'll pull up.
Barry Bonds should have got in. Roger Clemens should have got in.
Those are guys that I think are past the actual date that they can
But
still make it in.
Alex Rodriguez should have got in. I mean, those guys should all be in over anybody.
Is Mark McGuire in?
Mark McGuire's not in.
He'll never make it in.
And they should. I think they should.
Absolutely. Okay.
You know what's going to happen? They're going to put all these guys in when they're dead.
when they're dead
Yep.
because they'll have a different stance on steroids. Because believe me, all the players today, they're all taking something. You don't get
Thurman
that.
Munson's,
Thurman Munson's not in the Hall of Fame.
I was about to say Thurman Munson's not in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, Mark
Yeah.
McGuire absolutely should be in the Hall of Fame too. I'm sorry. I don't care.
Barry Bonds is the only player to have 500 stolen bases and 500 home runs in his entire career.
Well, he's got 700 plus home runs.
Well, I'm just saying he's the only player in MLB history to have 500 stolen bases and over 500 home runs.
Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. There's a lot
What
of
do you
players.
think about Nomar? What do you think about Nomar Garcia Parra?
No, he didn't. His career wasn't long enough. Now he was really good for what 5, 6, 7 years, and then the injuries came. He went to the Dodgers, and that was that. His career was basically over. But he was
about to say, he used to be really good.
They had that trio of shortstops in the American League: Jeter, Garciaparra, and A-Rod.
Yep.
And they were, I mean, just tremendous. All three of them, really.
I'll tell you this too. Another guy, right? Like we talk about like the Hall of Fame. Okay, Sammy Sosa should also be in the Hall of Fame as well. Don't care that he used steroids.
Yeah, Sammy Sosa should be.
Okay.
He was good. He was really good.
Roger Clemens
Just for him running around the bases with the American flag, he should get in. Or not run. Maybe what was it? Was it around the field or was it the base?
Kurt Schilling's another one of those guys too, right?
He should be in.
He's no longer eligible. I mean, Kurt Schilling, winner.
Dude, bloody sock game, absolutely should be in. Just on that.
What he did with Arizona and the Red Sox, both. I mean, he was a winner. He was absolutely a winner. They didn't like his politics, so they didn't vote him in. That's about
another guy too? I assume Andrew. Did you think Andrew Jones deserved to make it in? He hasn't made it in yet.
I thought he was good.
He was. It's not the whole of good. First of all, they let too many people in. First of all, so that's a bigger problem. But I mean, I think he's the whole of very good. Was he a Hall of Famer? I don't know. I was never. Wow, we got to watch out for Andrew Jones.
Him and his kid both going to make it in.
Who?
Him and his kid both are going to make it in.
Oh, I don't know.
He said now Carlos Beltran's another one of those guys who hasn't made it in. And I assume, right, a lot of it is because the manager thing hurt him and his time managing with Houston and in that cheating scandal, I think hurt his ability in ever having a chance to make it.
But Carlos Beltran, he's another guy. He just played forever, so he put up a bunch of counting stats. I mean, did you ever say, oh man, I'm scared of Carlos Beltran when he's coming up? Nobody said that.
Did Eric Gagne make it in?
No.
Eric Gagne used to throw freaking.
For however many years he was totally dominant as a reliever, that's still not enough to make you a Hall of Famer. Now,
did he win Cy Young?
Yeah, he did 1 year. Yeah,
stud.
But I mean, you look at like for batters, it's like, okay, who are guys who universally feared? Where it's just like, geez, I don't want to pitch this guy. Jim Rice was one for me. And it took him forever to get into the Hall of Fame because he was churlish with reporters. So, they're vindictive, spiteful bastards like most of the media. So what happens? They didn't want to vote him in. Eventually he got in. I think it was like on his 14th attempt. But Jim Rice was a guy, when the Yankees were playing the Red Sox, I was petrified when Jim Rice came up. He was just that good.
But see, that's absolutely pathetic, though. Like the fact that a reporter's going to say, I don't want to put this player in because they hurt my feelings. Do your fucking job. Do your job. Your job is, did this person play well out there on the field or not?
It's Bill Belichick. He's joined the show. Do your job.
Here's my thing. Did the player play well out there on the field or not? That's the only thing that should matter. It doesn't matter whether they called you a dumbass to your face or said, hey, you're a shitty reporter. Who gives a shit? Did they put up stats? Did they play well out there on the field? That is it. It shouldn't be, oh, well, Johnny talked to me for 5 extra minutes over here, but Sam didn't talk to me for that long, so I'm not going to vote him in. No. Do your fucking job. Did they play better than everybody else on the field? If yes, they make it in. Period.
I don't, like I said.
Your award now holds no water. It's useless.
I hate when writers try to make moral judgments on players. Well, he did this off the field, so that should disqualify him for the Hall of Fame. No. Nope. I'm sorry, you're wrong. It's what you do between the lines.
This is not being a Hall of Famer of being human. It's being a Hall of Famer of the specific sport.
True.
You gotta get Alex Monroe says the Whitney or Whitney Whitney instead of Vinicius. The Vinicius or Jude Ballon d'Or talk is a joke. If you want to talk trophies, well, it's not trophies. You don't talk trophies. It only is trophies when it's certain guys, right? You got to talk about Julian Alvarez, Rodri, or Carvajal. Well,
Danny Carvajal had more trophies than all of them.
Well, no, they're talking about this year, and
so Danny Carvajal absolutely did.
Here's the thing. Again, this is the fact they only use the trophy talk when it benefits certain individuals. Like, for example, in 2018, when they stole a Ballon d'Or away from Cristiano to give it to Modric. Well, they made second in the World Cup, right? They lost in the finals. That should be something we give him credit for. It doesn't matter that he had like 5-point contributions the entire season in La Liga. Doesn't matter that his numbers were absolute shit. They gave it to him because, well, we like to pick and choose, and we like to just give sometimes a sentimental story a trophy.
Yeah, and Cristiano was great in the World Cup that year also.
Scored a hat trick against Spain.
Yeah, but I don't think, did they get out of group stage, or
They did. They lost in the second round.
Okay.
Lost in the first round of knockouts.
Okay. But he absolutely does. Most of these awards are popularity contests, right?
Yes.
Which means that they're absolutely useless.
Yeah, they don't mean much. I mean, like I said, who are you scared of when you play? Rodri, certainly not Rodri or Alvarez. And
it's not, I'm afraid Rodri's going to score on us this game. Oh, I'm afraid he's going to shut down all of our players. No.
And, Danny Carvajal plays for Real. You're not game planning for Danny Carvajal. I'm sorry.
You're game planning for Jude and Vinny.
Well, no one has more trophies than the GOAT Lionel Messi. I'm sorry, I don't count little MLS trophies. Yeah. Sorry. Al also says here, MLB is about to test out robot umpiring there in 2025 spring training. I'm fine with it.
Finally, Alex sent in a comment that is actually valid. Thank you, Alex.
The SEC designates Tennessee as the real UT and calls horns down as Texas TX. Okay. University of Texas is the real UT. It's not Tennessee. I'm sorry. Like, you'll see again, Texas is going to kick the living shit out of old Rocky Top. Simple as that. I mean, like,
how many national championships does Tennessee have?
They've got one.
I know Texas has more than that. So.
Yes. Here you go. State of survival, Grumpy.
Hockey, a hooligan game played by gentlemen, and soccer, a gentleman's game played by hooligans.
Yeah. And then Al, Grumpy. Lawrence Taylor arrested, yes, in Florida for failing to report a residency change as a sex offender. I did see that.
Yeah. Everybody knows who Lawrence Taylor is, though.
Yep. Stay away from that guy if you're underage or even young lady. Goon Grump.
TJ and Grumpy, if push came to shove, could Sun X save humanity?
No.
Wow. I say yes. I believe in X.
I don't believe in X. I'd push him out of the way. I'd save it myself. Drew.
To be honest, sports news has been incredibly boring these past couple of weeks. If the biggest news that intrigues me is Brandon Ayuk holding out, it's been a slow month.
Yes. Brandon Ayuk, as we kind of alluded to last show, he was sending clips in for him. The Commanders, studying up some game film from the Commanders.
It means he does not care at all about winning. He only cares about making money, and that's it.
Here's the thing, though.
I don't have any issue with it.
I don't have an issue with it either. Players can go wherever they want. He's under contract. All right, he just is, and he can walk as a free agent at the end of the year. I mean, I have no problem with that, but you signed a deal or whatever it is, 50 year. I don't even know what his contract status is. I don't think he's certainly not a UFA. So I think he was he franchised?
No, he didn't want to sign that new contract. He's
okay, but he's still under contract with San Francisco. Still is. So he wants to hold out, but he's still under contract with 49ers. If he wants to leave after this year, that's his right. And I have no problem. He can demand whatever money he wants, whoever pays it. I do not blame guys for getting as much as they can get. Their careers are short, and more power to them.
Al says here, prior line coach there. Go ahead, Grump. I mean, how long we want to keep going?
It's not like these guys have great job possibilities once football's over.
Well, this is one right here, Grumpy, right? This is the prior O-line coach from the Florida Gators under Dan Mullen. He now works at Lowe's. Look at that. Look. I mean, like, look at the. I mean, you talk about a weird LinkedIn. I mean, like, what a weird place to end up there. As you're a football coach and you end up saying, "Oh, I'm actually going to be at Lowe's now." It's just definitely an odd career change. Lowe's maybe corporate or something like that. Didn't expect to see that. But I figure that's worth at least adding in there. Grumpy, here you go. You got Al says here, Ronnie Boy makes Marcia's a worst 11 squad. Marca's a worst 11 squad for the 2024 Euros.
He certainly wasn't one of the worst 11 players there. He's a name guy. So what they do is they just who the name guy
for clickbait.
How can we get
guess what? The only difference between him and the other guy was what? A goal. A tapping, actually a stolen goal. Sorry, a stolen goal.
Stolen goal.
Here you go,
Is Devontae Adams a Jet? Is Sun X mired in debt?
Mm-mm.
Yes to both. No, I'm just kidding.
Devontae Adams. Here's the thing. You know he wants to play with Aaron Rodgers. Do you think he wants Aiden O'Connell throwing the ball to him every week?
No.
He didn't like it last year. He's going to like it less this year.
And apparently he was pissed off because I guess the Chargers used him in their little preseason thing. He was pissed about that. And he said, if a team's going to want to talk trash about me, at least make it a team that shut me down. He's like, I put up over 100 yards a game against you guys every time he played you.
Well, this is him talking about Jimmy G when he was a quarterback last year.
This year, if I'm 17, I got to go. If he get a new quarterback, I got to go. If he's frustrated, ball.
What is he doing out there?
He's not getting to the ball.
Garoppolo into the deep territory, looking for Adams, and he missed him. He was all alone.
That quarterback.
Open as Devontae is going to be in his life.
Wide open.
Oh,
Now, here's the thing. Is Devontae Adams the same wide receiver he was 5 years ago? No, he's not. But he's still able to get open. He's dependable. Doesn't drop a whole lot of balls. If the Jets somehow manage to finagle him from the Raiders, they're a team that I'm picking to go to at least the AFC Championship.
Oh, my God. Do we need a repeat of last year?
They're going to win the Super Bowl, baby.
Hey, do you mind pulling up Aaron Rodgers highlights from last season?
Let me go.
You mind pulling this up?
I will in a second. Now, David Bakhtiari speaks about Devontae Adams, and now this is recent on July 12th. Not in a very positive image as well.
He's a me guy, like all the wide receivers. They're all me guys.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's an idiot. He really fucked it up because he took something that is good and bastardized it, made it so egregious that now it's like we're putting a microscope over the issue.
Anyway, so again, was that?
What was the question they asked him?
Give me a sec, Grumpy. I have to pull that up, my friend.
I'm just
so
saying a 13-second. I don't even know who he's talking about.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and pull this up here. X was asking for Aaron Rodgers highlight. Continue along there, X, with the comments we've got. I'll pull up Rodgers' highlights from last year.
Alex says Colombian Football Federation president and his son were arrested at the Copa America final Miami for fighting multiple security guards as they tried to gain access to the field.
Hell yeah.
Ridiculous.
And now, hold on. I have an issue with that. I do have an issue with that. So you're telling me that when they have games where, in college, for instance, college sports, and there's an upset and all the kids storm the field, they just let them go. Why are they trying to stop these two individuals?
Okay. Oh, it's not a college game. It's not a whole bunch of college kids. You're usually most times adults at these games, not a whole bunch of 19, 18, 20-year-old kids. And they do sometimes stop those kids. And they should, it's just tougher. But again, like at a game like that, gotta stop them from just
They all pay for their tickets to get into the game.
The college tickets usually for college kids are free tickets. Yeah. So let's watch.
They want a full crowd.
Maybe that makes sense as to why so many people were trying to storm the field. They were all people who got it.
Okay, so we're watching the Aaron Rodgers highlights from 2023.
Yes, getting back there to it.
I wish politicians look out for minors, and not just minors on an island somewhere. Lord, we got folks in the street.
That's loud. Anyway, running out there on it was a September 11th game there with the American flag. Grumpy, look at this. He was getting ready. Oh man, remind me, was it like the first drive that he went ahead and tore his Achilles?
Fourth play of the game.
Oh my God. It can't possibly be that bad this year, right?
Oh, maybe he'll last 5 plays this season.
I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to be out for vengeance. I think the Jets are going to be good this year.
Sauce Gardner's going to be the one who gets hurt. And Garrett Wilson.
So I'll put this up because I think it's unique. I didn't know this either. They looked at the most games or the most 4 passing touchdown games over the last 5 years. You might find this interesting. Aaron Rodgers, number 1 over the last 5 years with 12 different games with 4 or more passing touchdowns. Tom Brady, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Dak Prescott all tied at 10. Russell Wilson, 9 games. Lamar Jackson, 7. And Jameis Winston, oddly enough, on the list at 5.
Right. We can also throw in there that Tom Brady didn't play last year either.
And neither did Aaron Rodgers.
That's right. That's what it said. Rodgers also missed all last season, right? But so did Brady. So.
Yes.
And Brady played with that miserable New England Patriots.
Can we talk? Can we talk about somebody who's underperformed in that area on my mind for his stature? How the hell is Patrick Mahomes?
I disagree. He's okay. So he's thrown 4 touchdown passes in a game.
Well, it helps anytime you throw an interception, they just call it back for a penalty. I mean,
that's true. That's true. That is true.
It's only happened 64 times.
James will. Okay, I'm just like, who's the most overrated person in that group's got to be Jameis Winston, right?
The most undeserving in that group, yes, is Jameis. Yeah. Yes,
and there's a lot of other. I mean, you don't see Josh Allen's name on that list.
He was number 10. He was number 2 at 10. You're wrong. That's why I had it up there for a while for you to see.
Well,
he had 10. Well, Grumpy had up there for a bit.
Justin Herbert,
Josh Allen, right? We had Dak Prescott. Justin Herbert's not on the list. Justin Herbert hasn't been in the league for the last 5 years, so it's a little different.
The most impressive ones on that list are Tom Brady. That's it.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to shoehorn in some Brady stuff as per typical Grumpy. He go, ow, grumpy old man.
The EA NCAA college football video game off to a massive success. Spent a lot of time and effort on the minute details like UCF Stadium, seeing a rocket launch in the sky, which is realistic. Who gives a shit? It's a fucking video game. Next.
I was waiting for that comment.
There you go, Grumpy. Goon.
Grumpy, would you rather lead? Who would you rather lead you into battle? Staff Sergeant Barnes or Sergeant Elias?
I have no idea who either of those characters are. So Grumpy.
I heard.
Do you know? Do you know?
Grumpy want to lead?
Do you know what you want? Do you know what?
You can't talk over each other, you motherfuckers. Go ahead, Grump, and the next chime in.
X. Do you know what movie that Goon is?
Biloxi Blues.
No. Platoon. And it would absolutely be Barnes, Tom Berenger's character, not Elias.
No. Okay, we done. Thank you.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Hey, my little brownie.
Milo Brown says, Grump, I'm seeing kinks in the Red Bulls F1 race, and Max is not happy because McLaren's nipping at their heels. How are you doing with Drive to Survive? I've not watched any of Drive to Survive. You know my boy Max. He's getting a little agitated. That's not good for the rest of the group.
I heard apparently that Red Bull's pissed because there's something with the fins on McLaren's cars that are like, I think they absolutely like destroyed somebody's tire in one of the races or something like that, and they got very upset. I think if I'm correct, I don't know. I saw some kind of video on it.
X, can you look up how out of the last 15 races, who's won most of those races? I believe it's my boy Max.
Alrighty, Goon says here, the Mets remind me of the Islanders. Win 1, lose 1, win 2, lose 3, win 1, lose 1, etc. Am I right? Is the chat tonight airtight? I think the chat is locked in. They're focused. They're ready. They're airtight. Yeah, the Mets
suck. Islanders suck. Yankees suck. Giants suck. Jets are going to be better this year, though.
Al says here, this is Carvajal's best season yet. X, I wanted him off of Madrid at the beginning. X wanted him off of Madrid at the beginning of the year.
What Danny Carvajal did this last year, he cut all gluten out of his diet, and it had big implications for him. He'd been injury prone last number of years. He was relatively healthy for the overwhelming majority of the year, and honestly, it's been the best I think he's played certainly in the last 7 or 8 years. He was really good this year, really good.
Nice comment there, Grump.
I know what will get Grumpy going. Shohei Ohtani is better than Babe Ruth. Well, we all know that.
So Max has won 5 of the last 10.
There you go. My boy Max.
But the thing is, his numbers have gone down because he was dominating in the first half. If you do the first 10 races of the season, he had 7 of 10 wins.
Okay, so out of 20, he's won 12 out of 20. Guess who's going to win the championship?
Okay. Have you actually seen Babe Ruth bat before?
No. Sorry, I think he has a total. No, sorry, he has a total of 7 wins.
And 5 in the last 10?
Yeah.
So I guess he's been better in the second half then. Which totally eliminates whatever you said before, X.
Well, no, he won the first 2 races, lost the third, then won the next 2, lost, Won the next one, lost. Won the next two,
Okay, stop.
lost,
Holy
lost, lost.
X. You were given one assignment. Add up how many fucking wins he's got in the last 10, and you didn't do it. X, what the fuck's going on? Come on.
And then you said something else. He won 7 of the first 10, 5 of the second 10, and then you said no, he's only won 7 all year. It means nothing to me. You failed.
Okay, the last 13 races, he has 7 wins.
So more than every other one. Okay.
Okay. I want to show this to you, Grumpy. I'll be honest with you. Babe Ruth would never have a hit in today's
Okay. We don't need to. I don't want to go through that again. We have a long way to go. We got a lot of comments to get to.
Look at this fucking batting stance. Look at this. Hold on, real quick.
Doesn't matter what the stance is about hitting the ball. He did it better than anybody else.
Look at this. I'm sorry. Look at this shit. He would never make contact with the ball.
Boom. He did right there. Killed it.
That's a pop out. Pop out. Boom. Out.
And you know what he did after he was walking to the bench? Ate himself a hot dog. Drank the hot dog water.
Major League Baseball Hall of Fame can kiss my smelly butt until Keith Hernandez, Don Mattingly, and Thurman Munson are welcomed in with open arms. The legendary Harold Baines slipping in has set off alarms. Harold Baines should never have been elected, but he was really, really popular with all the players and all the media guys. He got in, I believe, on the I don't know if it was the Veterans Committee or if it was on, I think it had to be Veterans Committee. But yeah.
Who did he play for?
Chicago White Sox.
Okay.
Freedom from Adventure said here, did you see Shaq Barrett retired from the Dolphins after just signing there at the start of free agency? Camp starts this week. He says he's been thinking about it for a long time and to focus on family. That's bad. Well, I assume he still gets paid that signing bonus, right? I think that's probably the reason he signed that contract.
I believe he had a child who just died within the last year. So I think that weighed on him. Or maybe he just said, Tua is a shitty quarterback. I saw him in OTAs, and I'm like, this guy blows. We got no chance.
He just wanted to get paid the signing bonus, so he signed a contract and then quit right before the start of the season. Here you go. Al Grumpy.
Al Nassar, whose team is that, X?
It's Ronaldo's team.
Okay. Agreed to sign goalkeeper Bento from the Italian side, Paranaris. It doesn't matter. They suck, don't they? Instead of offering more for Ederson from Man City, as City valued him at $50 million instead of $30 million, Nasser offered. Why is Saudi being cheap? Here's the thing. I don't think Ederson's that good a goalie. I don't know if the Bento kid is.
Here's my thing. Who's going to offer Man City $50 million for Ederson? Nobody. Why would they pay $50 million when they get him?
It's called smart business. Just like when Liverpool didn't take $200 million from Mohamed Salah last year, and they're going to get paid maybe half that now. So it's just really bad business by Liverpool. This is called good business by wealthy individuals and wealthy owners. Drew says here, A-Rod should be in the Hall of Fame regardless of taking steroids. 100%. Absolutely. 100%. Freedom from Adventure says here, what I mean is that he thought about it for a long time. He didn't sign and then let the team get another free agent. I would have, I wonder if he got caught cheating or if he's trying to save marriage and money.
Is he talking about Barrett?
Barrett, yeah.
Shaquille Barrett.
He had a child die, I think, within the last year in his family. And I think maybe something like that, just remember he's played a long time now. And you know what? Maybe he just didn't want to go through that grind. Maybe he just wanted to spend more time with his family. I have no idea. I'm going to take him at his word, though. If you lose a child, I think that's the most devastating thing that could ever happen to you as a parent. Yeah. So if that's the case, I have no problem. No problem.
Different adventure.
This week, I saw a horrible Fruit Loop. He's a guy named Destiny. Yeah, he's an asshole. Is it Phil with a wig? Nope. I saw Jordan Peterson and a few others destroy him. He and Phil have the same tactics.
Very hyperbolic. JP Grumpy says here, Clemens, Bonds, and A-Rod should all be in Hall of Fame. Absolutely here. James Farrell says here, Joe Mauer was raised in Minneapolis, played for the Twins, and has twins, 2 girls. They're both twins. There it is. You talk about
number 2. Bet the number 2.
Drew L. Grumpy.
You know who will also make the Hall of Fame? Aaron Judge and Juan Soto.
Aaron Judge absolutely will make the Hall of Fame. Killing it again. He's going to win himself another MVP, second of his career. Freedom from Adventure, Grumpy.
Grumpy, do you remember what some of Son X's and TJ's goals were for professions when they were kids? Son X wanted to be a baseball player, and TJ wanted to be a slug. No, he wanted to play football.
Yeah. Let's put this up here. Now, I'm not sure if you saw this. The home run derby the home run derby. They had some lady, Ingrid Endress. Never heard of her.
Holy shit, this was so bad.
Okay. Go ahead, play it. We'll listen to it.
I will play. I'll give you the context. So beforehand, right? She apparently was drunk singing
It's a
this.
lie.
That she checked herself in. Hold on. She said she checked herself into rehab, is what she said, and is claiming at this point. I have no idea.
Now, here's the thing. I have not heard the national anthem sung. I'm dying to listen to it. But after she got so much flack, she's like, oh, yeah, I have a problem. I got to check into rehab.
Exactly.
So I don't know if she really thinks she has a problem, if she was drunk, or maybe she just didn't like the heat. So she lied about being drunk.
I think she's a no talent hack
because
she's won 4 Grammys or a 4-time Grammy nominee.
Here's the thing.
She sucked.
I'm going to judge her on what she does, not whatever excuse she gives.
Here's my thing. Even if you are plastered and hammered, you should still be able to sing.
All right.
Sorry.
Let's listen here, guys.
Say, can you see?
She blows.
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed by the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs burst.
I'll be honest, up until that point, it wasn't that bad.
Gave proof through the night that our flag was still there.
Man, that's bad. She's getting booed.
She should be. Disgrace.
Okay, what's going on?
TJ froze.
Jesus Christ, he sucked.
He's just as bad as she is.
Not good.
Oh. Okay, here's the thing. She was not good. She just sounded like they just picked some rando out of the stands to come and sing. It just tells you the state of music today. When a piece of shit like that could win 4 Grammy Awards, it tells you
No,
awards
4-time Grammy nominee. 4-time Grammy nominee.
Okay, I could be nominated for Grammy if that's what passes for singing nowadays. I could sing the national anthem just as bad as she did.
All right.
Just as bad.
Something cool I wanted to bring up here. Now, season tickets, you know how different teams have different little gimmicks. You know, they'll have other cool little things to do. I want your opinion on this. This is for the Raiders season ticket holders.
The autumn wind is a pirate, blustering in from sea. With a rollicking song, he sweeps along, swaggering boisterously. His face is weather-beaten. He wears a hooded sash, with a silver hat about his head, and a bristling black mustache. He growls as he storms the country, a villain big and bold, and the trees all shake and...
That's actually really cool.
I thought that was kind of neat, right? There's different ways they could do it. I assume this is very low cost, but I just thought it was kind of neat for the Raiders paying.
Did they send that out to all season ticket holders?
Yeah.
Yes.
Phenomenal job.
Yep. That's why I was like, that actually looks really cool. That, you know what? That would entice me to buy season tickets the next season. How are they going to one up this? Even if the team sucks, I'd be like, how are they going to one up it?
X is your typical consumer. Hey, they had a pretty cool gimmick to introduce the tickets. I'm down. Let me sign up.
I'm going to put down $2,500 for a season ticket this year.
For my treasure chest. What did the Panthers do for season tickets? Do you mind me asking?
They just give them to me in an envelope.
I heard they actually just taxed the people of the city to do
Real
enhancements on the stadium.
Worth mentioning this. Talk a little hockey real quick. We'll mention this a quick blur before we get back to comments. Evgeny Kuznetsov left the NHL. He determined to leave the Carolina Hurricanes, is headed to the KHL, headed back to Russia. I'll tell you this. Man, oh man, does it make the Washington Capitals look smarter and smarter every single day. So now their cap hit doesn't affect, right? Because they retained, they got a 3rd round pick for Evgeny Kuznetsov. They retained half the cap hit, but because he left and they placed him on unconditional waivers, that cap hit no longer impacts the Washington Capitals. They got a 3rd-round pick essentially for a guy that was on a bad contract who didn't want to be here. I mean, a masterclass by the Washington Capitals, and Carolina is pulling L's left and right this offseason. It seems.
Carolina also gets the same amount of cap space given back to them.
Yes, but I thought that was odd. That was just wow.
I didn't realize this angry girl was a country singer. It makes it even worse.
That's what I was about to say.
She wasn't drunk. She wasn't drunk though. She's lying because if you're drunk, you kind of stumble around, you forget the words, kind of like Joe Biden. So,
Al says here, if you base the Ballon d'Or off of stats, you go with Kane or Mbappe. If you base the Ballon d'Or off of trophies, you base it off of both trophies and stats, right? If you go off of stats, right? Oh gosh, Cristiano has better stats than everybody, but you go off the level of competition they play. You go off of, again, their results. Are they winning games or not? And you go off of their individual results, right? So again, like you're not going to have, they have no results for Rodri, right? He won himself a Premier League, like they've won 10 of the last however many Premier Leagues in a row.
They've won I think 4 or 5. I think this is their 4th one that they won in a row.
In the last 5. No, I think because didn't Liverpool win 1? I don't know.
No, they won 4 in a row. This is their 4th in a row that they won.
Doesn't matter. Anyway, so again, he didn't win anything they won on the international scale, but again, like the stats, you don't have any personal and individual stats really for a CDM. Sorry, you can't win that award. So it's a mixture of both. JP says here, Albert Bell belongs in a Hall of Fame too.
Now, I don't think Albert Bell deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He wasn't good long enough, but he was absolutely in that category of a hitter that you feared when he came up. Absolutely. When Albert Bell came up.
Mike Piazza has as many World Series wins as TJ has Mike Piazza autographs.
Ooh.
At least got one auto from Mike Piazza, maybe a few more. I don't know. I got one at least. Goon Grump.
Which New Jersey team will stink worse this year? The Jets or the Giants?
Giants.
Maybe TJ, he was referring to when you went up and said Piazza.
Well, you got 0. Son X, what is your favorite kitchen appliance?
The air fryer. Next question.
Air fryer, oven, microwave.
Yeah. Microwave for chicken nuggets or air fryer for chicken nuggets?
No, microwave is when I reheat stuff or I make mac and cheese.
I don't know who Mistiano Pinaldo is. Is that Alex also?
That's got to be
Derek or Al.
That's Derek.
Monroe brother A and B.
Okay. Ronnie played good in the World Cup. Derek, you knucklehead. I said in the 2018 or 17-18 year that's he had a good World Cup that year. This year he did not. He only had, I think, 1 assist. I didn't say
they're hammering home that he has 0 knockout stage goals in his entire World Cup career. Again, how many knockout stage games have they had? And then second off, right? Portugal is not a great footballing nation. Simple as that. And you're going to play better teams.
Here's the difference. If you actually study the games, when Ronaldo's out there, he's got 2, sometimes 3 guys on him.
Yeah.
So it's tough to do that. But that should open up the pitch for other players, and Portugal's just not good enough.
And honestly, he would have had 4 goals. Honestly, if he was on Argentina, he would at least had 4 knockout stage goals because he would have been given 4 penalty shots.
So, good one.
Here, I believe, it's actually 5. I believe that the Islanders have had the best summer in years since Lou's arrived. However, now they're at the stage where Lou struggles mightily managing the cap and making trades. They're not doing anything. The offseason is over for the Islanders.
They picked up Anthony Duclair.
That's the offseason move.
That's it.
Left winger.
That is their offseason.
Or left or right winger. Which one is he? Left wing?
And maybe it might be the best offseason they've ever had under Lou Lamoriello, but if that's what you're saying, it means he's been a total failure.
Freedom Fund Adventure says here, Son X, most reporters have never been fair and unbiased. They push their agenda. They push their bias. They push certain owners, agents, and players the way they want. A bunch of nerds who grew up. This is power.
And see, that's my point, though. Then you shouldn't put weight behind awards that are based off of people who have biased opinions. Then the awards don't mean anything.
The reporters get information from players, from their agents. So if they want to keep getting that information, they lean towards that player / agent, whoever. That's just the way it is.
Too good. Said Grumpy, who was more passionate about playing college sports, Son X or TJ? It was me.
TJ. It was TJ.
James F says here, Grumpy will stop the Devontae Adams reunion. Not happening. I don't care where you're getting your information from. He's not going.
I think he would like to play with Rodgers is what I said. I didn't say he was going there.
I think he wants to reunite with Rodgers.
Yeah.
Grumpy supporting Liverpool's finest on that T-shirt there. Beatles. Here you go.
Liverpudlians.
JMF Grump.
Grumpy, why are you so against O'Connell? He only played
half a season. He's the second best rookie quarterback. Yeah,
he sucks. Sorry, James. He sucks.
Green Fun Adventure says here, TJ, Havsey, Grantham, Knox, the many other Mulkins coaching staff, it should be meant to say Mullins coaching staff, were not nice dudes. Worse because Mullen didn't exert control. Unfriendly dudes. That's why he isn't coaching. He's got a story. Well, yeah.
Send it to our email.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, Brownie says, I miss commercials like Joe Green's Coke commercial. They were wholesome. I don't want to see one more Papa John's commercial just because Shaq and Peyton Manning own a bunch of locations. I'm 100% with you, my little Brownie.
Wait, isn't that the one where he goes, thanks, Mean Joe Green, right? The kid?
Yeah.
He throws him
the jersey.
Yeah.
It's an iconic commercial. They actually thought. Now, just creativity is done in entertainment, television. Like I said, we went to see Twisters. I'm not going to give anything away, but I was rooting for a whole bunch of people to die in the opening scene, and thank God they did.
All right.
I'm not going to give anything away, though.
They were unimportant characters.
Oh, my God.
Next comment.
You have to put spoiler alert.
Frank says, hey, Big Three, what's up? Frank here. Freedom Fun Adventure says here, TJ just sent you a Trottier and Tonelli photo to your Islanders email address. It's the one of Trottier flipping off the camera, Grumpy, that iconic photo there. I'll pull it up. James F. Grump.
On a serious side, TJ, how's a new baby coming along?
She's good. She's good. Thanks for asking. Good. Keeping us plenty busy there. Here you go. Tony Fitz Little Cheese, Grumpy.
She's already squawking. I love her. She's a little chatterbox. Did you guys see Simon Holmstrom tried to shoot the future president of the United States?
Oh, God.
We heard. Maybe that's why he's not on the Islanders website anymore.
No.
That's what Phil told me.
Good gracious here.
Who knows?
Here you go. Let's continue on there. X, have you been okay? You got
you sent me a message, so
yeah, I just wanted you to make sure Grumpy can't continue to go off crazy.
I'm just saying, you sent me a message, so I stopped.
Gun Grump.
In the order of Son X, TJ, and Grumpy, please each state your picks for worst and best Star Wars film and share your reasons. Don't worry, nobody will be accused of treason. TJ doesn't know any of them. I don't think he could even name them.
Okay, stop, please.
Name them.
Okay, Star Wars, The Phantom Menace, Star Wars, Return of the Jedi, Star Wars, Grumpy, A New Hope. Like, what are you talking about? I can't name the Star Wars.
What number is A New Hope?
Ahead, Grumpy. Grumpy, do you know all the names? Do you know every single one? Which one?
I absolutely do.
Bullshit.
What about the new ones?
Bullshit. I don't watch any of the new ones. You couldn't pay me to watch the new ones.
They were terrible. I'd say all the new ones suck.
I would say
Rogue One wasn't bad, though.
Yeah, that was a Star Wars story. I enjoyed Rogue One. Phantom Menace was the worst.
That's the first one.
That was number one. The best one for me,
Attack of the Clones, or whatever.
No, Attack of the Clones wasn't the best one for me.
No, I'm saying that's the second one.
I like the original New Hope, episode number 4. And a lot of people say, "Well, Empire Strikes Back was the best." It was good. I enjoyed the original trilogy. To me, are the favorites for myself.
I liked all the 6. They're all good.
Yep, I like him as well. I think I lean more towards the first episodes 1.
There were 9, not 6. 9.
They were not 9. There were 6.
There were 9.
What are the other 3 you're including in that list?
7, 8, and 9.
What are the other movies you're including on that list? I asked you very simply.
The last Skywalker.
Okay. Oh, that doesn't count. I'm not including that. That is
you just said there's only 6. There's 9.
He said the first 6 are. He thought the first 6 were all really good. He didn't think much of the last 3.
The last three don't exist. It doesn't even include into the canon, in my opinion. It's just complete bullshit, utter bullshit. Just like the Acolyte, complete bullshit. I don't even include it in the canon. I treat that as if somebody just went out there and just had a home recording and they started videoing by themselves, and they just had a private project. Disney ruined Star Wars.
It's an Airsoft Fatty production. An
Airsoft Fatty production doesn't count. Only the first 6 are good. Other than that, no interest. None.
Okay.
I'll say I think I lean more towards the first 3 solely because those were the ones that I watched growing up as a kid. They were coming out in theaters. You know, it was just a different experience going to see. To me, it's a more enjoyable experience going to a theater to watch a movie than it is watching it at home. So I think that's maybe why I enjoyed the first 3 more. Was I actually went to the theaters to watch them. What are you laughing at?
Tony G. He said conspiracy theory Sunday. God,
oh my God.
Similar. They do look similar. Maybe that's why he's off the island.
No, they don't look similar. Okay, he's got a much closer image to the Banjo Boy than he does the.
I was going to say, put up Banjo Boy too. Put all 3 of them up.
All righty. Okay, yes, we've done that here. We got one more comment here, 2 more comments here. The federal government is going to copyright this video. Oh, at this point, who knows? Yes, he was drunk there. We got that. And James Farrell says here on a serious. Oh, yeah. Okay. We already had that one. Okay, perfect. Well, guys, we're going to wrap up the show here today. Grumpy Son X, what do you want to say before we wrap things up here today?
I want to say love and laughter to everyone who listens and even those who don't, from TJ, the grumpy old man, and Son X.
Son X, what do you want to say before we wrap things up here today?
Want to thank everybody for coming out and listening. As always, love the interaction in the comment section, and we will see you guys next time.
What is
Thanks
your
so guys here? Thank you so much, guys, for watching the show. We'll be live with you guys next Sunday. Thank you, Grumpy. Thank you.
It says New York. That's all it says.
What's TJ's shirt say?
Worst thing about prison was the Dementors. Michael Scott.
Oh,
He's the Dementors.
Anyway, let's wrap things up. Thanks so much, Grumpy. Thanks, Son X. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be live with you guys next Sunday.
Sunday.